the juicy news. Now, you guys will tell me more in the comments because I've never played a Dragon Age game. I don't know anything about the series, and some of you will let me know in the comments. There's been some amazing Dragon Age games, if I'm correct. I don't know what the hell happened with Dragon Age the Veilguard, but first we're going to start off because I know we've got time today. Remember, we have got unlimited time today. So we're going to start on A Quiet Place, obviously later. I want to see this IGN review. I have to see it. Because I want to see... Basically, let's see the dialogue because... But first of all, let's look at the reviews because a lot of things have been talking about the reviews. And this is what's interesting. It's got an 84. You can't see it. There you go. Can you see it? Right at the bottom there. We're going to do a 5-hour stream today. So we've got 4.5 hours. Join me today. We better get up to 100 likes today. And supposedly, based on what they've said... I haven't actually checked anything, but they said back to it's basically they've basically been saying the same thing, and I don't know if we can find it because it's very weird. What did they say again? It was something like back to its best or something, or back to its best. They kept saying it like 100. Dragon Age Veilguard, BioWare managed to bring the series into the present. Great technology, excellent story, all fantastic on making that outside a modern role game. Bro's Curse. Let's see. It says. I don't know. Again, they might be true. It might be true. Dragon Age Veilguard has promised to fans of BioWare is one of the best storytellers in the medium, one capable, bombastic gameplay. Always trust the players. So no matter with reviews, critic reviews are so dumb because who actually listens? Who actually bases their decision off IGN's review? So let's look at this. Because I haven't watched all of it, but this is... I've seen some of it. And this is just modern day. Now, let's have a look at this.
She's still holding the ruby in her other hand. Maker's panties. I was so proud.
Oh,
Ah, shit. They're still holding it. Sorry.
What are you doing?
This is in the game.
Oh, okay. A barv?
Tradition in the Lords of Fortune from one of our old members, Barb.
This is like fantasy
guy, but like
medieval.
most of us, his plans went sideways a lot. Bad blood among your crews, not good for morale, but there's not always time for big drawn-out apologies. So when one of us screws up and we know we've screwed up, we do a quick 10 to put it right. Pulling a barv.
July Rome, what's going on? So here we go, look. There's more options.
I'm glad the Lords of Fortune have Tarsh's back.
Oh, Tarsh isn't the first non-binary member of the Lords.
Really?
It was a little before your time, but Horlicks was one of ours.
Huh.
Bastard looked better than I did in a dress or pants. And out of them, too.
How are you, July Rome? Why not just apologise?
Any reason you can't just apologise?
Sometimes people
for
say,
misgendering.
"Oops, sorry," and hope that fixes it. But they just want to get the whole thing over with. Trust me, I know.
Isn't
But
there
pulling a
more
barv,
urgent
you
things to
sweat a
talk
little.
about or do?
Makes you think about it a little more. Shows the other person you mean it.
What if they mean it when they say they're sorry, though?
And that's the other reason. Some people mess up and get all dramatic. They make
What
it
are
about
you-
them.
Oh.
Oh, you know, I didn't mean it right. I'd never do that on purpose. They feel so bad about it that it's on everyone else to smooth it over and make them feel better.
Oh, okay. Yes, some people might do that.
Pulling a barv puts it on the person who screwed up. They made the mess, they fix it, done.
Just apologise then. That is some awful right. You know what's worse? She basically says she's going to do 10 press-ups or something, and she did 6. So you didn't even do it. Like, Forspoken's better than this. But I know this is 15 minutes. I have to hear this review from IGN. Parts of it. Let's just see. They gave it a 9. I can't remember the last time I watched an IGN review. 59,000 downvotes to 7.8 thousand. She identified as having done 10. This is crazy. Do they not realize what they've become? I don't think they realize, because you're there to give the customer and the potential gamer an overlook of the game to then make them make a decision based off how you found the game. But because they've become so untrustworthy and weird, it doesn't make sense. You've got 59,000 downvotes to 7.8k upvotes. Let's just have a quick breeze. And yeah, I think someone asked, will I be playing this? If I get time, because I'm a part-time YouTuber, a lot of you might think that I do a lot of maybe positive reviews. The only reason is because there's so little time within the day. So when I do get games, there's only a little time. I don't want to just buy loads of rubbish games, waste my money, do reviews. I won't have time for the good games. If I get time in December, and I'm like, you know what, I haven't got much to play, even though I've got a massive backlog, I might pick up Dragon Age Veilguard and just do a review on it. What are your pronouns going to be? Full-time YouTuber. That are my pronouns. Full-time. That doesn't make sense.
Blasted, wooed, looted, and delved my way through the stunning and enthralling...
Liana. Isn't it a dude? Shouldn't assume.
As I excitedly slashed...
Liana. Liana. Isn't that a girl's name? I'm not asking questions.
Blasted, wooed, looted, and delved my way through the stunning and enthralling world of Dragon Age
Okay, let's carry on.
Veilguard. I kept having one thought. Wait, BioWare made this? 2024 BioWare?
You're really selling it.
With this game coming in the wake of the debacle that was Anthem, itself preceded by Dragon Age Inquisition and Mass Effect Andromeda, which were both merely alright in hindsight, I wasn't sure these former masters of the role-playing game craft could make a game like this anymore. But putting together my team of interesting and endearing companions to save the world felt like getting the old band back together, in more ways than one.
Archdemons attacking the north wall!
Try the horns!
Okay, just get on with it.
The Archdemon's too loud!
No one's retreating!
Nice
There's
intro.
no choice, sir. We're under siege. We have
Come
to
on,
fall back to the
IGM.
dragon
Bring
trap.
it back!
Get the trap. Send word to Commander Janos. Rally outside the wall.
The scope of this adventure is the whole north of Thedas, sending you from the coasts of Ravane to the blighted wilds of the Anderfels, as you attempt to prevent the rise of an ancient and menacing evil. It was thrilling, as a longtime fan of the series, to finally see so many of the places I'd only read about in a journal entry way back in 2009. And the way BioWare has us go about that exploration is very focused and deliberate. Veilguard's level design was one of the first things that jumped out at me, reminding me of the original Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic almost more than anything. The slick, looping corridors with just enough little nooks to discover are cleverly interconnected in a way that proves how a BioWare-style RPG gains a lot and loses almost nothing by ditching the idea of a fully open world. The exceptions to that are a couple of the more vertical sections of the city of Minrathous, which...
And also, I'm not saying... Obviously, I can't say if it's a bad game apart from that very bad dialogue there. I would need to give it a go. But again, I would love to do a review on it and just play it.
Can be a little bit of a pain in the ass to navigate sometimes.
And I've never played
Across the board, though, the environment art is really jaw-dropping.
That looks cool.
From the desolate peaks of Kal Shirak to
the art style looks it looks like Fortnite-y. A little bit It's not a bad thing.
The surreal floating elven ruins in Arlathan Forest. I was very pleased with the character designs.
Yeah, the problem, I agree. This could be very well a good game. Unfortunately, they injected the character creating. Same with me. But let's see what he says.
The armor and outfits are fabulous. I spent more than an hour in the character creator, like I usually do, and came out with a version of our protagonist, Rook, who delighted me every time she was in frame. This might be some of the best looking hair I've ever seen in a video game.
It does look good.
Even with all of that visual splendor, I was able to get a stable 60 FPS at 4K on my RTX 4070 Super with DLSS set to maximum performance, which usually didn't affect the visual quality in very noticeable ways. The one exception to this was in the late game when there could be so many spell effects going off at once that I not only lose frames, it's also just difficult to even see what's actually going on.
Okay.
Through the crackle and sparks, though, Veilguard's combat is definitely a refinement of what we saw in Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. I've always preferred the more tactical style of Dragon Age Origins or Baldur's Gate 3,
never played any of these
but
games.
That ship sailed so long ago for this studio, not even the Evanurus remember what it looked like. And so, judging this very action-focused combat system for what it is, it's pretty good.
It does look good.
BioWare has committed fully to the fast-paced style and refined it to a point that I enjoy it quite a bit. And the ability to pause and issue party members' orders, just like in Mass Effect, still gives some opportunity for more tactical players like myself to look around the battlefield and consider our next move. It definitely feels better on a controller than mouse and keyboard, though. I was somewhat disappointed that party members are more like extensions of your own character in combat at this point, rather than their own entities. They don't even have health bars, for instance. They can't be knocked out, whereas you instantly lose an encounter if Rook goes down. They do have equipment slots and
Anna's
skill
changed her name
trees,
to Anna
though
PC.
less than what Rook gets.
Can't believe
but
it.
overall,
Spartan,
the amount of customization available for the whole squad through piles and piles of interesting upgradable loot
does look very
was
detailed.
more than enough to satisfy my RPG appetites, if not fulfill my wildest fantasies of intricate battle management.
Nice shot.
In my 100-hour, near 100%, almost obsessively completionist playthrough, I styled Rook as a Spellblade, a mid-ranged melee hybrid mage, and really enjoyed the playstyle once I'd unlocked all of my core tools. Dancing with a dagger through a lightning storm.
So far, what I'm getting at, like, obviously to be impartial as well, despite that awful writing, I'm looking at it and I'm like, if the story was incredible with the dialogue and there wasn't, you know, the modern day stuff, I would look at that and be like, okay, this is looking kind of cool. It's whether the story and the characters have got anything about them. Wrong one.
Darting out of danger and then back in for a lethal blow is just a really good time that rewards precise timing and wise target prioritization. This isn't the tactical Dragon Age of my youth, but it is a Dragon
Age
I can vibe with.
Because it does
and
look
the
good.
Highlights
Look
of
at this.
Are definitely the boss fights, which offer a really
It reminds me of Dragon's Dogma 2.
Even on the default difficulty. While standard mob fights with Darkspawn or Venatori cultists eventually got a little repetitive after 90 plus hours, going up against a high dragon never failed to get my blood pumping, as I had to carefully study attack patterns and think on my feet.
Yeah, it looks like a...
In the sense that a BioWare RPG is really about your companions, also known as the friends we made along the way, this might be the most BioWare
that reminds me
game
of
all time.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Not only is the whole squad made up of complex, memorable, likable, distinct personalities from across Thedas, but they're all treated as the stars of their own story. Veilguard is light on that classic kind of side quest that's like...
I'm wondering if he mentions anything about that certain writing.
Help Bingo Bongo find some nug grease. And I don't miss those much, because they've been replaced by full-length heroic arcs for each companion, with twists, turns, a personal nemesis, major character developments, and a moment of triumph fit for a protagonist rather than a sidekick.
Our rogue necromancer has hidden something terrible behind this door.
It's like the writers took the loyalty missions from Mass Effect 2 and blew them up into 7 miniature games of their own. Almost every side mission ties into one of these, which obliterates the sense that you're just doing busy work.
Okay.
Nothing I'm seeing makes me want to look away.
Picking a favorite of the 7 Veilguard members to talk about genuinely feels like an impossible task. I really want to just say all of them are my favorite, but I had a rewarding romance with the stoic Grey Warden Davrin and became mother to his fledgling Griffin pal Asan, so he's gotta be my pick for this playthrough.
Asan, that
is.
He's got to bring up that storytelling. That should automatically get down votes for that dialogue we saw. He hasn't mentioned anything so far.
I will wash Thetis away in a tide of fire. The Vincent Price-inspired gentleman necromancer Emmerich is also a delightful twist on the usual edgy goth death mage tropes.
We'll be fighting weirder stuff than necromancy.
And while we've been asked by the devs not to spoil specifically who I'm talking about here, as a non-binary person myself, Veilguard includes some of the most authentic representation of coming to terms with general gender stuff, and having to navigate your family's reaction to it I've yet to see in a game. It doesn't feel like an after-school special or like I'm being pandered to. It's quite well...
Yeah, but... What? Why don't you get a normal reviewer? I'm not saying... Hey, listen, all I'm saying is he doesn't feel like he's pandered to, but... Okay.
Well handled.
I'm not saying nothing. I want to keep on YouTube.
And finding out that the writer for this character is non-binary themselves did not surprise me at all.
A damn good-looking hero, if I do say so.
The large...
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble. And I don't want to be in big trouble.
Larger plot that's threatening the world in the background as we're doing all these more personal quests is nothing particularly outstanding in its overall structure. We need to unite some factions to fight some evil gods who are trying to do bad things with tentacles. The major wrinkle that makes that interesting, however, is Solus, also known as the Dreadwolf, Fen'Harel, the elven god of lies and rebellion, waiting in the wings, keeping you guessing.
How long we got?
About whether he was a friend
got 4
or
minutes
foe.
left.
I need to know what the gods are planning.
You are asking for knowledge no mortal in this world is privy to.
As a continuation of the Dragon Age series, Veilguard does feel a little disconnected from where we left off a decade ago. If you were expecting decisions from previous games in the series to carry over, I'm sorry to say they've never mattered less. You only get to import 3 choices, one of which only comes up in the context of a single letter you may or may not find and read.
I can't believe they got this.
You do get to recreate your Inquisitor from Dragon Age Inquisition, the same way Inquisition let you recreate your Hawk if you played Dragon Age 2. And the Inquisitor ends up being a fairly important character, which was cool.
It isn't just Inquisitor, is it?
So what I'm getting from this, which I will say when it's done.
You were someone before that.
But things like who you chose to make the head of the Chantry at the end of Inquisition never come up. There's no sign of the Warden from Origins, even though you visit the stronghold of their order. Hawk gets only a passing mention. There are some other cameos from both Origins and Dragon Age 2, but those characters conspicuously don't reference any important choices you may have made in their presence. This story feels like both a send-off and a soft reboot in a way, which was a bit paradoxically refreshing and disappointing at the same time.
My thing on this they go on about inclusivity. I think I will. You know what? I want to review this because what I'm seeing, and you know me, I don't just jump on the bandwagon. I don't. What I'm getting from this, well, let's watch the whole thing before. Yeah, let's watch.
Agreed.
The pacing early on is kind of weird too, and I felt like I could practically smell the rewrites. For example, it's hilarious
not long left. I'm falling asleep
says
too.
The word Veilguard out loud across the 100 hours I played of this dialogue-packed campaign, exposing a last-minute marketing pivot for what it is.
You're making us sound like Solus. That's uncomfortable.
But it doesn't take too long for things to get on a good track story-wise, and when they do, they stay on it. Aside from one huge choice you'll make early on, the most interesting bits of narrative design don't come up until the very end
I want to come on
to its middle years, and leaves of Northern Thetis, and capping it with a terrific finale.
We're nearly done.
For more amazing RPGs from this year, check out our reviews of Metaphor, and Thetis, and capping it with a terrific finale that's built on memorably tough choices and consequences. If we never get another Dragon Age, at least it got to go out on a high note.
Even This is a sales pitch, not a review. You forgot to write sponsored. I clicked on the video merely for the comments section. Wow, you gave Wukong an 8, Stellar Blade a 7, and this Abomination a 9. Todd lied. A 9. Oh my gosh. It's true. Hey, listen, it's true. It cancel me or what? It's weird because from my initial thoughts of that review, seeing the gameplay, seeing the graphics, it looks interesting. I'm like, okay, this looks actually all right. The combat looks kind of fun. The big dragon fights look cool. And then you lost me when he said what he said. Like, this is what's crazy, is that you talk about inclusivity. Don't cancel me. We're allowed our different opinions. All right? My point is that you cater your core audience, like me, like you guys, 95%. That's 95%. And then he goes on about inclusivity for 5%. And then but what about us? What about us? You know what I mean? You're getting rid of 90%. He's like, oh, well, I felt great because of, inclusivity. And but you got rid of 95% of your audience. Wow. Now I see why the amount of dislikes. This is crazy. And that is the problem. This is what I mean. If you have a different opinion, you're like, how could you? I don't know how the sales are going to do. I don't know. This could do very well. I don't know. But my initial thoughts is it's an interesting game. The graphics look good. The combat looks good. Don't know why that thumbs up there. And the problem is that you've catered to a very small percentage that I don't want to buy the game. I'm not going to get in jail, Vince. Hey, I'm just saying. The good thing about this channel, let me say, you can disagree with what I'm saying. You can agree. You don't have to be sure. And I'm okay with that. You guys won't get cancelled in the comments. This is what this community is about. And I want to kind of re-emphasize that. If you disagree with what I'm saying, that's okay. We can still get along. There you go. So, Sari, like you said, I'm playing it right now, and I figure it won't matter because I'm not choosing a... Why is that thumbs up keep coming up? I'm not choosing the binary option, but I like playing Dragon Age Inquisition, which is why I was interested. Cool. And that's the thing. Man, this is making me hot, this wig. But the problem is, when you pander to so many people, but when you to your core audiences, that dialogue, how many sales are you going to miss out on because of that? And I know it's like, oh, you have the option and stuff like that. Again, I would love to play it just to see what I think of the overall game based off what I choose. What's crazy is that, yeah, you're there to review for your audience. It's not about you. Like, don't get me wrong. As if someone knows what you like if I like, I don't know, I'm going to talk about... I'm just trying to think what I like, but I'm trying to find an analogy. But it's not about the review is there to tell the core audience, majority, is this a good game or not? And unfortunately, yeah, exactly. We come to these games for escapism. And man, I do not want to give my money. That's true. Because it's not, Birdman, you still like that? Yes, of course. And that's what I mean. That's crazy. You need to give the review codes to everyone. All the big and normal people. Oh, gosh, I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean. But they've carefully picked the reviewers. And they're like, you know, that's why it's crazy, based off 51 critic reviews. Yeah, I had to see that review because, my gosh, I can't believe the comment. Like, this is 95% of your audience. And again, like I said, the gaslighting is 4.2 thousand. This is what I mean. Slick looping corridors are just enough, nice way of slay. Exactly. This is what's crazy. Is that what Space Marine 2 has too much masculinity? What's wrong with that? But Dragon Age, thank you for a non-binary right, because I'm non-binary too. This is what doesn't make sense. Let me guess, as a quirky event in characters, this is not a Dragon Age game. The writing is frankly terminal. It lacks any nuance. Cannot communicate. I just skipped it just skipped the sponsor. Oh my gosh. Hey, exactly. Renocraft, exactly right. I cannot believe when Days Gone said they said that genetic white protagonist. And it goes both ways. That is crazy that they said that. And this is why they've just got away with it way too much. It's crazy. How can you say that? And then, like, when I first heard that, when I saw that, I couldn't believe it. And my gosh, you know what? Games will do well based off word of mouth. And wow. Wow. That is crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, guys. Neutro has been cancelled. Woohoo! Anyways, I don't want to be buying that game. If I do get time, I will eventually maybe buy it, because as an aspiring YouTuber, I want to play as many games as possible, and this one just seems a great one to do. Yeah, they're both. See, if that review was totally for the overall, just summing up. If it was for like the core audience and he didn't mention anything like that, I don't know. You just, I want to see I was going to say non-something. I want to see a review that is impartial. That's someone, you know, I'm going to say who's not non-binary, because I want to see what they think. Do you get what I'm saying? Because I feel like you've got the wrong reviewer to do that. Anyways, I'm probably going to get cancelled.